Hey, good morning, everybody. Little technical issues here this morning, but good morning, everybody, and welcome. Happy New Year. This is like the second day of 2025 already. Well, I hope that you're having a great holiday season, getting ready to jump back into a work week next week, and or maybe you're back to work today. But welcome this morning. Hey, glad that you're here. If you are new listening in, uh, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us and love us on social media. That always helps the algorithm and keeps you updated on new things coming. But this is Thursday Morning Live. We're here every Thursday morning. I bring a different guest to talk about being an entrepreneur or real estate investing or some component in real estate investing, and how maybe self-directed IRAs or 1031s can work into your investing model. So we're always bringing relative information for you, relevant information that will help you grow your business, grow your platform. This morning, I am joined with a guest, Rochelle McCoy, my business partner and longtime friend. Very excited about having her on this morning and talking about a couple of different things. We'll talk a little bit about some goal setting for the new year. We're going to talk about some commercial real estate opportunities that we're working on. So let me bring Rochelle in. Hey, good
Hey,
morning,
Mike. Good
Rochelle.
morning.
How are you?
Good morning. Excited
Happy
about the
New
new year.
Year.
How about you?
Yeah, super excited. That's for sure. We have some things we're working on that are really going to help the new year be a little bit more robust this year, I think. So I'm optimistic about 2025. I think everybody, I've been talking to kind of singing the blues about 2024, but very optimistic about 2025. That's for sure. So,
Yeah,
how was your
absolutely.
New Year? You say you're recovering this morning?
It was good. It was a lot of celebration. So yeah,
Yeah, good,
all good
good.
things. All good things.
Yeah, always fun. I always find it interesting. New Year's Eve, I like to just stay home. So this year I
Mm,
traveled on New Year's Day, and so I went to bed early. So I
nice,
was
nice.
I was out
It's
of
not a bad
pocket.
thing either.
No, it's not. It's not.
A little
And
extra
then
sleep is never a bad thing.
it was kind of funny. I had shut my phone off, and I had like 20 text messages when I got up in the morning, and I was like, "Man, I'm
Mhm.
glad I missed all that. That's for sure." Hey, so as we get started, I have that one question I always ask, and one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
I would have to say adaptable. So as I've
Hmm.
gone throughout my career, I've taken on a number of different jobs and different roles in the W-2 job that I have, and then as I've forayed into real estate, I've used a lot of the skills that I've learned there, but I've also adapted a lot of the things that I know into a completely different line of business, and not just real estate in general, but within real estate itself. There's so much you can do from single family to multifamily to short-term rentals, long-term rentals, et cetera, right? And even commercial real estate, as we're going to be talking a bit more about today. So being able to be flexible and adapt to different lines of business and different market conditions and all those things really helps to help any business owner to kind of roll with the changes as things change, right? A couple years ago, none of us really could have predicted where interest rates would be today. So it's like, how do you take a situation like that that's more or less out of your control and adapt your businesses to still work and be profitable and um, you know, keep growing your business despite some of those challenges.
Yeah. And interest rates are, I want to say interesting, right? Because
Right,
I'm
right.
kind of glad you even mentioned that because, I remember when I first got in the real estate business, interest rates were double digits. And before I got in real estate, they were, mid-teens, upper teens. And so, where they're at today in the market, 6 to 7%, depending on the product class and the market you're in, we're really at more of a normalized rate of return. or interest on assets. And we raise a lot of capital. You and I raise a lot of private equity for the multifamily deals and the real estate deals that we buy and we operate. And one of the biggest objections that private investors had last year in 2024 was interest rates are too high. And my question back to them always is, if you're receiving X return, and we bring deals to the market and we try to hit, a mid to upper teens return for our investors on an annual basis, and provide a preferred return of 7-8% in cash flow back to our investors. you know, what does it matter if interest rates are 3%, 6%, or 12% if you're making this return? How does
Mhm,
that happen? And I've had a number of investors go, wow, I never thought of it that way. You know,
mhm.
so,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it,
and a
go ahead.
another thing to support that is, going back to that adaptability theme is when we were faced with some of the challenges around high interest rates and making that a little more difficult to pencil multifamily deals, we adapted to look at more, uh, the term totally
Yeah.
escaped me. Um, uh, uh, Taking on existing debt and rolling that over into our name. So, yeah,
Assumables.
we've really assumable. Yes, thank you, assumable loans. So we've done that business model a couple times now, and it's really been helpful. And you can make deals with today's interest rates pencil. It's just harder, but when you can find those assumable rate loans, those are fantastic, right? And like I said, it's just kind of another way to adapt to current strategies to work with the current market conditions.
Yeah, and kind of just to tailspin on that a little bit. The other thing that I've seen happen is because interest rates have been 6, 7, even they were even 8% for a while. We've seen pricing come down on multifamily, where sellers have had to say, hey, I'm not going to get it sold at X. I'm going to have to bring it down in order to accommodate for these interest rates so that deals do pencil more. So
Mhm.
um, it's been an interesting several months, that's for sure. So, but I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to 2025. I think it's going to be great. And,
Mhm.
but why don't you talk a little bit about you and your background a little bit? What you do, how you got in real estate, and what you're
Mhm.
currently working on.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been a real estate investor since 2017. It's something that, my husband and I have talked about for the past 25 years since we've been married. We just didn't take any action. And so I had a situation with my job a number of years ago that really made me take a hard look at real estate. And at the time, I really was looking at it as kind of a backup plan. Um, just in case I would ever, be out of a job. I wanted something, another source of income coming in. After I got into real estate, bought a couple properties, really started enjoying the challenge and even the property management side of things. We were self-managing some properties. My mindset shifted to, instead of just making this my backup plan, what if I could make this my full-time plan? So that's kind of the journey I've been on the past couple of years, is to acquire more assets, partner up with other knowledgeable industry experts like yourself, and help other people also invest in real estate. I know a lot of people don't want to mess with the tenants, toilets, and termites. Um, and so we offer, ways that people can passively invest in real estate so they can just earn the returns without some of the headaches that come with actually managing properties themselves.
Yeah, awesome. And I know you and I met about almost 5 years ago now,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
we did a multifamily acquisition together
Hmm.
shortly after that, and kind of like the way each other worked, and how we supported each other in the business, right? Like, you're really good at a lot of things I'm not good at, and I'm really good at a lot of things you're not good at. And that's made a great partnership for us. And I talk to people a lot about that. Yeah, I see so many people go to a seminar, sit next to somebody and go, "Oh, we should be partners." And all of a sudden they're partners, and then 2 years later that their partnership falls apart because they didn't have that those complements of each other. And I think that we built that over time, which was been really good in our partnership.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, totally.
So, hey, couple things I'd like to talk about this morning. One is goal setting and business planning, and with the new year here, and then the other piece is talk a little different twist about real estate investing. You've done some residential. We're really involved in multifamily, and now we're going to bring a new asset class into that fold. So, I want to talk about that a little bit too. But so have you started setting your goals for next year? I know you and I have kind of talked about some things that we're planning on for the new year, but how about personally?
Yeah, definitely. Still have some work to go, but definitely started thinking through and putting down on paper some of the things that I want to achieve for this year and even beyond. I actually spent a considerable amount of time late last year putting together a 5-year plan for me and my family, and not just professional goals, but some personal goals as well. Things that my husband and I want to do together, things that we want to do with our kids. And so that was. I'm not always a big fan of the goal process. I do it because I understand its necessity. But I found that I really enjoyed this long-term planning process because it got me thinking bigger picture. I'm a very, kind of tactical person, and I tend to get really wrapped up in the day to day. Like, here's all the 5 things I got to get done today. But forcing myself to take a step back and really think big picture and dream about, like, what could we do? Here's all the things that we could do in the next 5 years. What makes the most sense for us, and what are the things that we really want to start putting our time and energy towards to make those things happen? I found that to be a really, really fun and really rewarding exercise.
Yeah, I like that you created a 5-year plan of where you want to go. And I think when we do goal setting, the first thing I want to just mention though is I think it was 1953 Harvard did this study with the graduating class of 1953, where half the class wrote their goals out for the next 3-5 years, and half the class did not write their goals out. And 20 years later, they went back and studied that graduating class. And the half of the class that wrote their goals down uh, were earning like 3 times more, or had 3 times more wealth than the half a class that did not write their goals down. And I think I butchered the story a little bit, but that's the context of it, right? Is that's really important for us to write those down. And so I'm such a huge advocate about writing those goals, spending time. And that's one of the things I got to do yesterday, was really kind of focus in a lot on that. And I kind of worked that process from like October, evaluating where the year is at, what I've accomplished, what I haven't accomplished, to New Year's Day, so that kind of can hit the ground running for myself, personally and business wise.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
it's such an important exercise, and you don't always, as a lot of those college students, I'm sure at the time didn't appreciate. Like, it's a process that you don't always value and appreciate until you've seen it work,
yeah.
and really understand, how powerful that can be.
I talked to a lot of people too that say, well, if I could just do better than last year, or if I can just do better than where I'm at right now.
Mhm,
And I think you have to have, Jim Collins wrote a book called Good to Great. And
mhm,
in his book, he makes this comment about big, hairy, audacious goals, right? Stretch goals, but set goals that, maybe even seem unachievable, and then think about them and visualize them and manifest them, and you'd be surprised how they show up into your life.
mhm,
It's just like, and I think in goal setting, it's not just about business. Hey, we don't want to just go buy 1,000 more multifamily units this year, but where do we want to be financially, emotionally, relationally, physically, you know, and then you dig in, like, financially, how much do I want to give away? How much do I want to earn? What do my investments want to look like? And when you start to dig in and think through this, it's amazing where where you end up at the end of the year. Or in your case, I love the fact that you did a 5-year plan.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep.
So
Those are such powerful tools to move forward with.
yeah. So I just want to I want to mention that coming up on January 9th, I have my annual half day free goal setting and business planning event. And I walk people through a couple of processes about that goal setting. I give them a free planner and business planning guide, and I want people to show up, just come and at least get inspired or get a little nudge or get a push. It's been filling up really quick this year. I'm super excited about that. So there's still some room to be able to jump online with us, but definitely register for the event and come, and maybe you learn something, maybe you set something. And when I talk about goal setting, and 20 years ago, I started going to California on vacation. And then I started going out on a lot of business trips, and I went out 3 or 4 times a year. And I always said, I'm going to live here. I'm going to live here. And, it was, I think that mindset and manifestation and visualization is so important. And I work a lot of that into my event. But I want people to understand that 20 years, and I finally moved to California, right? But I had that
Yeah.
goal for 20 years, and you never know when that goal you set is going to show up for you. It could
Mhm.
be instantaneously, and the funny thing is I never had a time frame around it. So when you set goals, do you put time frames around them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an important thing to do, but more importantly than just, I guess more importantly than not setting a time frame is, you want to push yourself to achieve your goals, but you also don't want to beat yourself up if you maybe fall a little short, or maybe you need to extend your timeline, or whatever that may be, right? Give yourself some grace, right? We're all trying to live a great
Yeah,
life and do so many things, and and especially in today's society where it's like everyone is just so busy with so many things going on. You have to allow yourself a little grace to wiggle those things, those
yeah,
timelines you need to. But if you don't set a timeline at all, then it's almost like you're just floating through space, right? Like, oh, someday I'll get to that. Someday I'll do that. Well, someday will never come, right? Unless you really put the effort into making that happen. And without a time frame to hold yourself accountable to, I think you put yourself at a really big risk for just never getting it done. So time frames are
100%. And then I think one key thing is patience, right? I mean, 20 years is being patient, but
right.
I think that people set goals and they want it instantaneously, and it doesn't happen instantaneously. We have to be patient and
Mhm,
know that over time we'll get there. So,
mhm,
one of the things about setting goals too is having that time, and make sure you give yourself time. So,
mhm. Yeah.
I know that this year in 2025, one of our goals is to bring a new asset class into our investing environment, offering to our investors a different perspective, maybe a lower risk type of investment that people might have a little bit, higher interest level in. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've been, as you've talked about, we've been doing multifamily for the past 4 years, going on five. And that's really been a great asset class, still is a solid asset class. Always will be. People always need a place to live. But, like any good business owner, we need to diversify, right? So we want to make sure that we're investing in other asset classes. And we've been really looking hard at some different types of industrial asset classes, and have found what we think is a really good niche moving forward for our investors. So, really excited about some of the opportunities that we have coming up here in the near term.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, we do have and I want people to understand we have a new model that we're bringing to the market. It's in the commercial real estate space. It's going to be different than multifamily, and we're providing a and it's going to be a triple net offering. And if people don't understand what triple net is, it's where the tenants pay all the bills. Right. So you own the real estate. It'd be like going and buying a Walgreens or a Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they rent from you, but they pay all the bills. So all the taxes and insurance and repairs and maintenance. And so we've set up a structure, but we've done a little caveat with it, and we've added some things to that real estate that's going to create additional streams of income for people. And we need to be just a little bit elusive right now on what we're doing, because we're going to be rolling this offer out next week. um, People can watch for the upcoming webinar. We're actually going to do a webinar on the 8th and the 11th of January. So we'll have those links in the show notes. But if anybody wants to have a little bit more detail, definitely reach out to us. But we're going to provide an asset class that will give a little bit more risk, a little bit stronger in the rental side of it, and we're going to increase cash flow by adding some incentives to that real estate that will help with multiple streams of income. And we know in real estate, if we can add, we know in multifamily real estate that if we can add amenities and create revenue based on amenities and raise rent, so it's a similar type of model on this new model, but it's going to really increase revenue. So I'm excited about rolling this out. Some of the, have talked to a couple of people about it at this point, and there is some higher level of interest. So be exciting.
hmm Yeah, it's going to be a really
So
great opportunity. So it's exciting to kind of delve into this new business model and see where it takes us.
yeah, absolutely. So anybody who's interested in finding out a little bit more about what we're doing coming this year, uh, that we're going to launch next week, reach out either to Rochelle or myself, and we'll get you details on that. Anybody who's interested in this year's business planning and goal setting event coming up on January 9th, the link for that will be in the show notes also. Uh, or you can reach out to us to get registered. Hey, Rochelle, so I have to ask, share one personal goal and one business goal that you have for 2025.
Okay, sure. So, one personal goal, I'm really involved with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and I do a couple different events throughout the year that help to raise money for that organization. And so, my personal fundraising goal to for St. Jude this year is to raise $10,000, which outside of the events that I help do as well that raise additional funds. But me personally, my goal is to raise $10,000 for St. Jude. So I'm excited about that.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
And I know that you're an avid runner and participate in a lot of those events, and continue to raise money through those events. So let's make sure that we get some exposure around that. And I think that that's something that you and I should talk about with, with our companies, is how can maybe we participate or help out in that, in
hmm
giving
Yeah.
back a little bit. So that's a
Yeah.
conversation I'd like to have offline. But um,
Absolutely.
how about business wise?
So business wise, we're looking to really grow our real estate portfolio this year. So we have, in addition to the things that we partner on, the multifamily and the industrial, my husband and I do our own investing too, and kind of smaller multi and some single family. And so we want to really grow our portfolio this year through each of those different asset classes. So we have individual goals for what I call my personal portfolio, which is the investing I do with my husband. I have other goals for multifamily and then for the industrial side as well that we're just getting into. So a couple different avenues of real estate growth going on there.
Nice, good for you. And Rochelle, how do people get a hold of you if they want to reach out, chat with you about St. Jude's or any of your initiatives coming up?
Mhm. Sure, absolutely. Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. If we're already connected on Facebook, people can find me that way or message me through Messenger. Those are probably the two easiest ways. Check out resilienceequity.com, which is our business website, or I actually have my own personal website too, which is rochellemccoy.com. So any of those avenues are great ways to reach out to me.
Awesome. Well, thanks. I appreciate you taking time this morning and being here. And I know we have a lot we're working on and a lot direction we're headed in, but it's always great just to kind of check in and kind of let people know what we're doing and what we're up to. So I appreciate you. I'm going to
Absolutely.
move you to the back room. If you hang out with me for a minute, I'm just going to say goodbye.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks. Hey, everybody. That's Thursday Morning Live. And my guest this morning was my business partner and friend, Rochelle McCoy, and really enjoyed talking about goal setting and our upcoming launch of a small industrial building on this in the CRE sector. So if you're somebody who's looking for a little different twist this year in investing, reach out to us. Either myself or Rochelle, and we'll get you some information. We do have a launch coming up on January 9th, and then again on the 11th, where you will see actually what we're honing in on. So I want to invite you again, coming up January 9th, my annual half day goal setting event. You're going to get a business planning goal setting guide to help you walk your way through the journey and stay accountable all year. Want to help you set some goals and build a business plan. I use a business planning system called a 135 that used by a lot of major corporations in around the country, and where I've used it for years, and it's really helped me scale my business 20, 30% a year as I continue to push forward and grow. But it's a very specific model that you take your goal, you build this model around it, and it will help you achieve more definitely on your journey. So, hey, thanks for being here. We're here every Thursday morning. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope that you've had a great holiday season. If I can do anything for you, don't hesitate to reach out, answer any questions, help you on your journey, and just wish you a great 2025 to you and your family. And we'll look forward to seeing you somewhere over the next few days, few weeks, few months.